Grow your cleaning business, make more money, have more time. This is the Profit Cleaners Podcast with your hosts, Brandon Condry and Brandon Shane.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Profit Cleaners Podcast. Brandon Shane in the house. Just have a quick episode for you guys to share some wisdom today about growing your business with the concept known as aggressive patience, which we're going to get into. I'm going to share some fun stories with you guys, but basically it's something that's changed my life as far as understanding this concept, this skill set that you guys need to achieve and you need to build into your life and create this new skill, which is kind of realizing, hey, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day. Great things take time. A lot of us try to speed up the process and we want results today. And one of the things you got to realize as an entrepreneur, anytime you're building something great, is that your actions today will not get you the results you're looking for tomorrow, right? You're going to have some patience and some diligence in executing and long term to make your dreams a reality, right? So also on the other hand of that, you can't just sit on your butt and do nothing and expect your dreams to materialize and your goals to happen, right? So you do have to put in the time, you do have to put in the effort, the blood, sweat, tears, the grit, the fortitude, the perseverance that it takes to actually get to the level you want to get to. But you can't just visualize it and hope and pray. You actually have to do something about it. So two things that one of my mentors, this is all from one of my mentors, guys, Andy Frisella, who I learned this, many years ago, but this concept has stayed with me and I wanted to share it with you guys. So this concept of aggressive patience is essentially the two things you need to do, guys, is stay urgent, like every day, focused on what are your next actions, what are your next critical tasks, your next needle moving moves that are going to move your business forward. We're not talking about checking emails and doing random things that aren't going to move you forward. We're talking about actual revenue generating tasks. So what are your urgent daily actions? Number two, being patient to, understand it's going to take time, right? So a lot of us want to speed it up. We want to push the easy button. We want to hit some special thing that's going to make it go faster, take a shortcut. And that is like a recipe for disaster most times, right? It's not how you win in business. So this concept of aggressive patience from my mentor, Andy, again, it's a skill that all successful people have. They've learned to master this skill, and I'm continually getting better at it, but it's one of the biggest reasons why they're successful in the first place. And so you have to be aggressive in pursuing your goals, but also have the patience to know it's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen tomorrow. And if it does happen that fast, it's probably not a great thing you're building, right? It's probably going to fall down in the wind and not have any substance and nothing to hold it down. So there's a reason why you kind of want it to take a while, because good things and great things take time, right? So you have to be, again, aggressive in pursuing your goals, understanding that any great achievement, whether that's becoming a great parent, becoming a great leader, building a great business, any great achievement is going to take longer than you think, a lot longer than you think. Okay, it's not going to take a week, a month, a year, probably not even years. It's probably going to take you longer than you think, altogether. So you have to develop the skill set of aggressive patience and being patient while you're working through daily, keeping that urgency, keeping pushing through it and not giving up. And you have to keep that urgency consistent, right? You can't let up on the gas ever. That's kind of one of the secrets. And most people look past this because it is really, really hard to not, let your foot off the gas. It's really, really hard to not do that. But if you can develop this skill, guys, this is literally going to allow you to accomplish anything in your life that you want to accomplish. This is going to help you do it. And so you either need to commit to this concept as you guys are building your business, accept it for what it is, or just realize what you want for yourself is probably not going to happen. So stop torturing yourself thinking that if you just keep grinding it out forever, something's going to happen. There's no shortcut. There's no shortcuts, short way around it, right? So aggressive patience. I want to share a couple stories with you guys on this. So personally in my life, I love gardening. I love botany. I love growing plants. I always have since I was 14 years old. I've loved growing plants. I've always had a greenhouse. Built my first greenhouse with my dad when I was 14. Have a greenhouse in my backyard right now on the mountain, and I've always had one. So I love growing plants, and it just, in one of the very first times when I got into growing plants, there was a time I remember I was like trying to get these plants to grow. I wanted them to grow faster, right? And so I poured some fertilizer on them. I like mixed it up. I said, hey, it says like 1 tablespoon. I'm going to put 2 tablespoons. I'm going to like really get these plants growing, right? Well, instead of the plants growing faster, the opposite happened. The leaves crisped up, turned yellow, and the roots got root burn, and the whole plant died, right? So in my impatience, I actually killed what I was trying to grow because I was trying to speed up the process. I was trying to do something outside of the normal and take a shortcut, right? So it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're growing plants and you try to pour more water on it, or give it more sunshine, or crank up the heat because you're like, hey, maybe they'll grow faster, or give it more fertilizer, that's not going to help you get the plant bigger. It's not going to grow bigger. It's going to die because you're not practicing like just the law of aggressive patience, but also what that plant needs. It needs time. It needs you got to plant the seed, give it the right amount of water, right amount of light, the right amount of temperature. Everything has to be just perfect. You can't speed it up. You can't take shortcuts. And so that's kind of like one of my favorite examples of that. But another example that my mentor Andy mentions with this aggressive patience is a lot of us, if you're not planting a seed and growing the plant, it's baking a cake, right? If you're baking a cake and the recipe says you got to bake this cake at 350 for 45 minutes, and you think, well, that sounds great, but I'm in a rush here and I want to make this cake faster. I don't have time to wait 45 minutes. I'm going to crank it up to 450. I'm going to get it done in 20 minutes, right? And we think that we're taking a shortcut, we're being smart, we're going to get it done faster, when in fact we're only hurting ourselves and we're actually burning the cake, and it's not going to come out right? You're going to serve it to your kids, your family, and they're going to be like, hey, what'd you do wrong here? Like, this doesn't taste right. So there's a reason that the recipe says this temperature for this amount of time, right? There's a purpose behind getting that end result. And so a lot of times we get distracted in business and life. We try to speed things up. We try to take shortcuts. It ends up backfiring on us. So another quote I learned from one of my mentors, he says, in business, this is Brian Moncada. He owns adspend.com. He's one of my other mentors. And he says, in business, you either win or you learn. You only lose when you quit. And so I'll mention that again. In business, you either win or you learn, but you only lose when you quit. And so that first example I gave you guys when I was planting I was growing those plants, when I was 14 years old, and I tried to speed it up. I could have just quit and been like, hey, I'm not good at growing plants. This is not my thing, right? But I learned from it, and I actually kept going, and I continued to get better and better and better and refine my approach until I had healthy plants that were growing, right? And so the same thing goes for cooking, baking a cake, so many different examples that we can go through. But another quote I want to share with you guys is, patience and perseverance have a magical effect before which difficulties disappear and obstacles vanish. I'll read that again. That's from John Quincy Adams. He says, patience and perseverance have a magical effect before which difficulties disappear and obstacles vanish. So again, guys, just having that bigger, longer term vision, right? Not success overnight, not push the easy button, not try to get this done faster and take a shortcut. There are no shortcuts in business. You have to do the work. You have to be consistent, focused on your daily, urgent with your daily goals and the things you need to accomplish to move your business forward, right? So do the work, and the people that end up taking shortcuts end up losing, right? So don't take shortcuts. Don't try to turn up the temperature and crank it up and do it faster. When you push the easy button, things break, right? And an analogy I love is the fence analogy. We've talked about it before on the podcast, but if it takes you one day to build a fence and erect that fence, and it's probably, a few pieces of boards and some wood and some nails, it's not real sturdy, doesn't have a great foundation, it's probably going to blow down really quickly in the wind the next day, versus when you spend the time and you put in the grit and the perseverance and the extra time and work to build the fence correctly. Pour the concrete, pour the rebar, pour the foundation, put the bricks in place. Don't just slap something up. that fence is going to stand the test of time. It's going to be here for years and years and years to come, right? It's not just going to flop down real easily. So the extra time that you invest in creating something great pays dividends in the future, right? And you actually have a much better path forward in achieving your goals. So yeah, that's basically kind of my rant on aggressive patience. It's really the real deal of building a legendary life, guys. If you want to build an amazing life, an incredible business, you have to get good at continually showing up, being aggressive, being urgent every single day with your goals, and realizing, hey, this is going to take time. There's no shortcuts. Be patient. Understand it's going to take time. The people that give up, it's because they don't have that vision. They want to shortcut it. They want to take things into their own hands and change the temperature and put more water or fertilizer on it, and it really ends up backfiring. So my message to you guys is take this secret and integrate it into your life. Rewire your brain, and instead of trying to take shortcuts, do what's hard. Do the hard work. Do what most people are unwilling to do. This is why entrepreneurship is awesome, because you can do what most people are unwilling to do now, so you can have the life that you only dreamed of, that most people only dream of, that most people can't have tomorrow, because you were willing to take the sacrifice. You were willing to stick it out, be patient, be aggressive every day, and not give up on your goals, not give up on your dreams. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. Just those quick insights. It's been very, very powerful for me as an entrepreneur to just have those insights and kind of like that secret that Andy taught me, my mentor taught me. And when you're baking a cake, when you're planting a seed, when you're whatever it is you're doing, when you're growing your business, there's no shortcuts. Do the hard work. Keep showing up every day and realize it's going to take time, right? It's going to take time. And this is why most people will give up along the way. And this is why you're going to be able to outwork and outperform and outlast your competition. And there really is no competition when you're operating at this level, because most people are not operating at this level. They are not thinking this way. And this allows you to dominate your market, to dominate your life, and to truly change your life, right? And lead a legendary life, create a legendary business. So you either are or you aren't, and you're going to make that choice daily. It's up to you. But start to develop this skill set, guys, of aggressive patience, and start to work it into your business, work it into your life. It's up to you, but ultimately, I think this is going to help you guys win and ultimately have a much better vision for what you're doing in your life. So you're not going to give up easily. So you're not going to try to take shortcuts and push the easy button and just do whatever's easier. Do the hard work. Do what most people stray away from, and double down on that. Do the opposite of what most people do, and you guys will have the life that nobody else has, because you were willing to do that. Stick it out. So that's it. Take it or leave it, guys. Take some aggressive patience, build it into your life and your business. Be great, keep it clean, and I hope you guys have an amazing week.
Thanks for joining us today. To get more info, including show notes, updates, trainings, and super cool free stuff, head over to profitcleaners.com. And remember, keep it clean.